Erica. Welcome in to a Zoom interview. I'm in your hometown back in Bakersfield, but you're out there in Florida with your new team. How are things going out there?
Hey, Kari, I'm doing well. Things are going great. I just got a quarantine like 3 days ago, so it's been great to see the outside world and be able to play basketball again.
Yeah, and for sure. So for people who don't know, the WNBA, they are out in Bradenton, Florida at the IMG Academy, which is used for a lot of different athletes. But what are your expectations from working in there so far with the team? And I should say this, you are now with the Atlanta Dream, so your
Yes,
newest team. So congratulations on that news. Yeah,
thank you.
represent. Moving on from Indiana Fever, so you had a little bit of time kind of playing free agent, but then you got the news picked up to Atlanta. But back to that question, to the IMG Academy, what's it like out there and what people are dubbing the Wubble?
Yes, it's really nice actually. It's a very spaced out campus. I can't believe it's a high school because when I think of Ridgeview and I think of IMG, they're completely different concepts of what high school would be like. But it's very open. All the staff are great here. The food is great. Like you could play golf out here. There's a great pool, so it's much like living in a hotel for me. I mean, I actually live in a hotel, but as far as the outside world and being out there, it's kind of just like you live on a resort in that type of manner. So yeah, IMG Academy has been great for me in my experience here.
So it's kind of like, this is something I kind of knew about the IMG Academy. I know that I knew some athletes that had gone down there. And so it is a high school, but it's kind of used also because I know some Olympians train there and they obviously, for the WNBA, it's serving right now during this weird time. But yeah, that's crazy that that's a high school, but it literally is like its own kind of full on campus.
Yes, it's crazy. I was just actually like when I was in the training room, I saw a few professional players that have either trained here or went to school here, and I saw Russell Wilson. I don't know if he went to school here, but they had his jersey up out here. Michael Beasley, Dwight Powell, who also went to Stanford. So it's pretty cool to see that a lot of professional athletes have kind of grown from this area. So it's cool.
Yeah, and let's get back to the news. So, as I mentioned, you were drafted by the Indiana Fever, and then you had this time in free agency during this crazy time. So, I know it was probably a tough waiting game, but at least you got to be at home. And then you get the news that Atlanta Dream is picking you up. So, what was that conversation like, and how are you feeling on joining the Dream?
Yes, it was a very random call. I was watching Hamilton with my mom. That's like the latest news. Everyone's been watching Hamilton, so I was watching that with my mom. And my agent had called, and I was like, told my mom, I was like, pray for good news. I just had a feeling that something was coming up, and he told me that Atlanta was
Hamilton to make sure you didn't miss anything.
Yes. Hamilton was paused during that time. Yes, so nothing was missed because she was loving it. So yeah, my agent called. And he said, Atlanta's going to pick you up. He's like, I don't know. I'll find out details. I'll call you soon. He's like, the coach probably will be calling you soon. So just be prepared for that. And probably another 45 minutes later, she called me. She's like, hey, Erica, we love the way you play. We like your energy. We think it'd be good for our team. You think you can come out here tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, I can make tomorrow work. She was like, okay, I'm going to send you a couple of flight options and then I'll let you know everything. And then within, I think 9 p.m., she gave me some like flight options. One was like 6 a.m. and noon. Both lived from Bakersfield. So I was like, probably can't make the 6 a.m. Still need to wash some clothes. So then I chose a noon flight and boom, I was out of there, out to Florida. So it was a very, very quick turnaround. Didn't have much time to say goodbye to people or pack. And I was just praying I didn't forget anything. But overall, just a super, super cool experience to see how everything can just flip just, with a drop of a penny.
Yeah, and you tell me, so being during this weird time where I know you were probably just trying to work out on your own and obviously we've talked about earlier, there weren't many parks here that even had hoops that you could play at. So what does it feel like to get out there? I saw some of the latest practice video from the Dream. What does it feel like to play some real basketball again with some teammates?
Yeah, it's very fun. Like I woke up, we had practice at 9. I woke up before my alarm. I was just excited the whole day. I'm like, I'm finally gonna get to play some basketball. And it was a very fun experience. Very different though, because the type of workouts been doing have just been one-on-one with my brothers and my dad. So it's very different to play in a 5-on-5 setting. But it's just like riding a bike again, just jumping right back into it. And it was just a lot of fun. And I'm very excited for the future.
Awesome. Well, again, congratulations. But
Thank you.
now moving into just the weirdness of this year, but I'm sure you're stoked. The WNBA is playing a season. It's going to be 22 regular game season. So you're right around the corner from opening up that season. So just tell me, what is it like just being around these other ladies during this time, and how you guys are maintaining, staying safe? But also, I can understand, I'm sure everyone's just itching to get back to the normalcy of
Yeah.
playing basketball.
Yeah, I say it's like summer camp. It's just a group, it's like basketball summer camp, just a group of the world's or the country's top female basketball players.
I'd
And
say the world.
yeah, the world's
Don't
everywhere.
play overseas.
Yeah, everybody, U.S. and the world. So just a group of 144 players, just all in the same area. It's super cool. Like I told this story, like I was hanging out with Sabrina Ionescu, who's the #1 draft pick this year, and I was just standing next to her, waiting for the elevator, just kind of talking to her, mingling. And then, I'm just like kind of in a rush to get in the elevator. And like, as soon as I got in, like Diana Taurasi, like just jumped out of nowhere and just I like ran into her. And it's just like crazy things like that. And I was like, the odds, like I'm like the #1 draft pick, the #1 player in the world, like just in the same vicinity. I'm just like, this is crazy to be a part of this experience. But IMG and the league have done an incredible job of making sure that we all stay safe. We all have to wear masks. Here's one of my masks. It's like a WNBA mask with a WNBA logo.
That. Yeah.
We all have masks like this. Teams have like their logo on their masks. Some do. We all have to wear masks anytime we go outside of our rooms, anytime we go out anywhere. We get tested every day. Every day we do a COVID test. So we'll get a throat swab test and a nasal test. And what else? So just making sure that we all stay socially distanced, that everything's set up so that teams can interact with each other, and that there's not too much of closeness going on. So there's different schedules for everything, and that we don't cross paths too many times, at least before a season starts and we all start to play against each other. But doing a phenomenal job at keeping us all safe, and it's been great.
Well, glad to hear that. That's #1. Glad everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. And obviously it's working too for the NBA, because they keep coming back with the numbers. And I'm shocked and grateful that everyone is coming back testing negative. I'm like, you guys are all proving that the world can get back to this normal routine at some point. So keep leading the way.
Wear a mask. That's it.
Yes. And you touched on how cool this environment is. And I know too, so you're going to be entering your 4th season in the WNBA, but I'm sure it still kind of hits you sometimes playing with some of these greats, mentioning Taurasi, and and the fact that Sabrina Ionescu, like she's going to be one of the top players, of course, in the league. But yeah, I mean, that's funny that you even said that. There's 2 ladies right there, but the fact that you're all on campus together, this is something that's never been done before, where you get to, I'm sure as a player, you've never got to spend this much time with all of these ladies in the league. So what are you going to take away from that? What are you most looking forward to about this experience of this whole season being played where you're all together on one campus?
Yeah, I think just remembering that this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to all be together like this, and really just taking the experiences that I have. Like I have so many different friends across the league that I barely get to see, that I just call, text, like, hey, want to go hang out at the pool, and just kind of gaining wisdom from everyone else just through the talks that we get, and being able to interact with people like Taurasi and Brittany Griner and Candace Parker, just people like that, and just kind of getting all, even though like they're superstars athletes, all just kind of seeing that we're all in the same boat. We all have to be in the wubble. We're all just trying to get through the season the best that we can. So just taking it day by day, and each day it brings a different journey for me.
Yeah, and I love seeing you smile. So you're super happy in the bubble.
I am happy.
Because I was going to ask you, like, these bubbles that are being created for the sports environments, like, how do you survive it? Because I'm sure it's tough. And I know maybe at your age it's a little easier, but I know your sister, Dewana, who's older and has a family and everything, is that I've seen this, which is pretty cool, is that the WNBA is kind of allowing families to be there. So I was curious, is that really happening where families are kind of getting to stay together during this odd time?
Yes, everyone's been saying that the Wubble kids, the Wubble babies have been the stars of the season so far. Like you just see them running around. There's a couple players with kids, and they'll be running around at the hotels or outside, and it's great. And some people have brought their spouses in. It's one big family unit. It's cool how they are allowing people to bring in, you know, if you have families and stuff, making it comfortable for people like that. My sister didn't bring her daughters, but they literally live like 30 minutes away. So she still feels their presence greatly. And so yeah, it's been one big family, and it's been cool, really cool to see how, you know, even though we're players, we're also mothers and wives. And so it's been really cool to experience this.
Yeah, super cool. And again, talking about your sister, that's such a cool and unique experience for you guys. Not many star athletes at the next level get to play in the same league together. So I know you've already been doing this with her, and I'm sure you've had a couple of matchups. But the fact, though, you both now are on two new teams, which she's with Connecticut, you with Atlanta. So just what is that like to play with your sister in the same league? Again, I know you guys don't really one-on-one match up in the games per se, but just the fact that you get to, you know, experience this right now too with your sister, what is that like?
Yeah, it's been cool. Actually, we scrimmaged them yesterday, and we played we played like we were guarding each other for a long time. So that was a cool, like a really unique experience, because that never happens for us. She's usually always at the 3 spot, so we got to guard each other a couple times. So that was really fun. We all talked me, my dad, and my sister all talked in group FaceTime about it. We won the scrimmage, and I have never beat her before, and so. I was and so she kept saying like, well, it only won by 4 points. Well, it actually was a tie, and so I'm taking my little win and I'm cherishing it. It's been a very special moment just having my sister around, just her being so close. She lives in a hotel too, being able to text her whenever I want. We can hang out whenever we want. So it's been really cool, because I grew up in California. She grew up in Alabama. So growing up, we didn't really get to see each other that much. So being able to be so close to each other during this time has been very special. My dad's been smiling from ear to ear ever since he found out that I'd be coming out here. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with her more, just gaining some more wisdom from her. She's an incredible player. When we played her, she was killing us. I think I was like, she's playing like MVP. So I'm excited to see the things she'll do this year.
Yeah, and so for people who don't know, I was going to say she is one of the stars too in the league, DeWanna Bonner, and I grew up in Phoenix, so Phoenix Mercury. So she's won a title there as well. But yeah, what have you learned from her, just from her experience and what she's been able to bring to the league?
Probably the biggest thing is playing with confidence. She just plays with so much confidence. She knows that she's a great player, and every time she steps on the court, she has that mindset, and she plays like it, and people truly respect her game. And that's probably the biggest thing that she's told me, is just play with confidence. And, you know, no matter what the experience or what I've been through in my past, I have a fresh start, and to take that and to show it when I'm on the court. And so I'm looking forward to the more advice that she gives me. I'm like just trying to soak it all in, because she's such a great player. And most people don't even know that we're sisters. It's the crazy part. So they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I know. It's crazy. That great player is my sister. And I get so hyped telling people that. Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you confidently beat her in that one-on-one matchup? I read in an article that you were keeping it secret. You heard from your dad how to beat her. I want to know, break it right here, Erica. How do you beat her on the court?
So for me, if I were to play my sister is a guard, and she doesn't really like to post up more. As everyone knows, if you could just look at a picture between me and my sister, she's very thin. And I have a little bit more meat to my bones. So if I were to play her, I would take her down to the post, because that's not where she's most comfortable at. And from there, I can't tell much secrets after that, but that's all. I would just have to take her down to the post. And I'm sure she would take me up to the perimeter to try to beat me, but it would be a great one-on-one. That would be very exciting. So hopefully, if we have some downtime, we'll get to play one-on-one, and I'll tell you guys who wins.
Love that. And I just think it's super cool. Again, it's probably why you feel like this is summer camp right now. One, you're kind of giddy just about being with all these stars at once, but it's kind of like a family summer camp, because you get to see your sister a little bit more too.
It is. It's been great. I'll just be walking down, and I'm like, hey sis, how's it going? It's nice and casual, and it's cool. So I'm really enjoying this special opportunity that we have.
All right. And of course, the WNBA season, along with all these other professional leagues that are about to get going, there's going to be a big difference with your games, as you guys are going to be playing in these gyms where there's no fans. So I just want to know, for you, like, there's two parts to this. There's one, of course, we know athletes feed off that energy, but you guys also always practice in these kind of situations. So How is that going to feel when it's like a game tips off, it's a real game, but it just feels like, I don't know, to me it's kind of like AAU basketball, or like just kind of like those summer traveling camps. What is that going to be like?
It's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to take a couple of games for us to adjust to remember, like, this is a real game. These count towards actual, actual schedule. And so I know for me, it'll take me a little while to just get used to not playing with any fans. Like you said, they bring just a special type of energy that you can feed off of. So I think it'll just be like how we're just playing against my sister, just feel like a scrimmage. That's what it's going to feel like. But I think through time, everyone will get used to it. And then it'll probably be such a cultural shock, or, just to be able to play with fans again. Like, we probably will get a little nervous playing with fans again after this is all said and done. So I'm very excited to see how it's going to go. It's going to be a special season, a different type of season, but it'll be a lot of fun. I think a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Yeah, and just for you, for your personal growth, I mentioned earlier, so you're getting into your fourth season. Of course, you've had some time. You play in Hungary, right? Overseas?
Yeah, correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so of course, I read up some stuff on you out there. You were having great success. So what do you hope kind of translates as you get back with this new team and get back into the league? What do you hope to see from this shortened season from yourself?
Yeah, just confidence, just going in with a new mindset. My last 3 years, especially last year, my confidence was just to the floor. It just was very low. I just didn't have much to think of myself. I just kind of gotten, the idea that I wasn't a good player. And I had to constantly remind myself this whole quarantine while I was here in Bakersfield, I'm a great player. It's just all about opportunity. And so that's what I look to get out of this, just to play and to have fun. I don't think I was having fun for a little while where I was in my last year in the league. And so just to play and have fun, not worry about any mistakes, just go ball out, because this is what I love to do. Basketball is in my blood, as you can see, with my sister, my dad, and my brother. So I just want to have fun and really just embrace this experience.
Yeah, and do you think that this pandemic and kind of this pause taught you that and brought you that back a little bit? Because I know you mentioned you were playing hoops with your brother and your dad. So how did that kind of maybe re-energize your love for the game? And how do you feel like it will all be re-energized once you hit a court for real, when the games start mattering again?
Yeah, I think just playing with my dad and my brother, it took me back to when I first started playing ball. When me and my brother used to play in the backyards, in our backyard together. And that's when I really started to fall in love with ball, probably when I was about 8 or 9, when we just play all the time. And back then, we had the court low, and I was dunking on him. And then flip it this year when I started playing against him, he's taller than me, he's dunking on me. So that was a little frustrating, but overall, it just brought back my love for the game. Just being able to compete against them, and just they're the ones that made me fall in love with ball. So with that, it's really energized me, gave me a different mindset about how I want to approach playing basketball again. So very fortunate for this opportunity that I had during quarantine, for be able to adjust my mindset coming into it, and really just help me out for when I got here.
Yeah, and for your family, what kind of pressure does that put on you? The fact that you guys all have so much basketball history, starting with your dad, Greg McCall, who's a coach at CSUB for the women's basketball team, then Justin, who plays with the men's team, and your sister, and then I know too, one of your other siblings, Sean Davis, plays at Foothill. So what is that like to just I can't even imagine the competition, but again, that pressure kind of on your family you all have to kind of almost one up each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun being a big basketball family. It really isn't too much pressure, just because that's the way our dad, made it for us. He just always wanted to make it fun. Of course, we have some sibling rivalries when it comes to things, especially when we're playing one-on-one. Like, that just gets pretty intense out there. And even my dad plays with us. So it's won me. Like, we do this thing. I call it Queen of the Court. They call it Queen of the Court for me because I'm the queen. And so we're just constantly just play one-on-one. Whoever wins, you stay on the court. And that just gets super intense for the whole family. I'm telling you, my dad is probably the most intense one. Like, he probably gets the most frustrated if he loses. So it's a lot of fun, but then in all, we just have to remember, like, we're just one big family, and basketball is what brings us together. It's never really a competition too much between us. And so it's been great. We always say it's in the blood. My dad, that's his saying, that's his go-to. And so it really is, and we love it, and this is what our family is built upon.
Yeah, love that. Well, it's in the blood, and obviously your roots are in Bakersfield. So you had a great career at Ridgeview High School, then you went on to Stanford. And I just want to know all the memories that you've had, and again, just even playing for the nation and then playing overseas. What are one of the few like accolades or most memorable moments from your basketball career that you kind of hold on to throughout this whole wide journey that you've been on?
Yes. Going to the Final Four my senior year, that was an incredible moment. I had the game-winning block. I never had a game-winning shot, but I had a game-winning block, and that was my first time ever doing something like that. So it was incredible. And to go to the Final Four, that's like a moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life. I'll never forget when I missed these two free throws, and we were playing for USA basketball, and I was like, I had played USA basketball for several years before. I think it's my fourth year playing. I didn't really get much playing time. This fourth year, I was like one of the leaders on the court, and we were down by one. I had two free throws to win the game. I just had to make one. I just had to make one free throw. Or imagine, no, we were tied. We were tied. That's what it was. I just had to make one free throw to win the game, and I missed both. And it was like literally 0 seconds on the clock. So there was like no one even on the court. Like it was just me and the referee. And he just passed the ball. I just had to make one free throw. And I missed both. I'll never forget, I missed both. And we had to go into double overtime. And we ended up winning the game, but I'll never forget like that moment. Like that was my moment to be the hero. And I missed that opportunity. And I will never forget that. Like, and I even did like a whole speech on it, call it one free throw. That's like another moment. And probably one last one I have is, man, there's so many great moments. Probably just getting drafted. Yeah. Getting drafted, going to the draft, getting invited to the draft. I honestly didn't think that year I was going to get invited because in the middle of my senior season, I didn't have such a good performance. And so I was very surprised when they invited me to the draft, and being able to be there with my family and get my name called was an incredible experience. And so just like a goal of mine that I had since a little girl, it was great.
Very cool. Well, I love how humble of you. One of your memories is something that you aren't necessarily proud of, but I'm sure you learned from.
Oh yeah.
So, and I feel you. Me having played sports, I will say, I have those moments, those high moments, but it's the ones that I'm not the proudest of that I do remember the most. Like it's right here in my brain. Like, yeah, right. And then like in that feeling that, oh man, that feeling that you never let go. So for myself, selfishly, and everyone out there, what do you take away from those moments that are maybe your career lows, let's say, or a moment that you aren't too proud of? What do you take from that to kind of spin it and learn something from it and move on from it?
Yeah, we can go from my senior year, just when I had, like I said, I didn't have a good performance. I remember literally after one game, I had broke up with my boyfriend literally the game before. The game afterwards, it was like from there to probably all the way to the Pac-12 tournament. And that was like a span of 8 games. I just probably averaged 4 to 6 points that whole thing. My senior season game, or my last game of my senior year at home, was absolutely terrible. And I'll always remember that. It was just a terrible experience. But all in all, that gave me strength, and it gave me so much more confidence to go into future seasons, because whenever I did play bad, I was like, I've been through the worst, the worst through that Stanford senior season. And it made me stronger and made me more knowledgeable. What do I have to do? How to change my mindset so I don't have a constant spurt of games like that. So it's just constantly taking from what you learned from the experiences, pulling from the bad, and taking all the good that you can take out of it, and just moving on, and just using it as strength, using it as wisdom for you to move on in future things in life, because ultimately it's just going to make you stronger and more knowledgeable in life to come.
I just want to know, kind of off the court, not playing basketball, what has this whole time, this pandemic and this kind of time off that it's afforded you, really taught you, and what were some of the highlights when you got to be back here at home?
Yeah, the biggest thing it taught me was to take this quiet time that I have and take it, and it's really a special opportunity for me. A lot of times in my life is moving. It's just I'm constantly moving. I'm constantly playing basketball. I never get to come home, and I've gotten a lot of time to just really relax and just take the quiet time and just really think about things, think about my future. And I've really appreciated that quiet time, and trying to incorporate more quiet time into my life when I getting to play basketball again, like where I'm here in the bubble, and just really taking that, because it really helps just transform my mind, gives me more peace during everything. So really taking that quiet time out. But some of the key moments, some fun moments I've had during quarantine have definitely been getting shaken with Bird when I started that. When I did the 14 days of dancing for my 14 days of quarantine, that was absolutely one of probably the best highlights. Brought a lot of family time in. Like I said, my brother, I recorded like 12 of those recordings. It was just like when we were kids again. We used to make dancing videos all the time. So definitely getting shaken with Bird was an absolute highlight. Being able to play with my brothers and my dad, being able to work out with them, a great highlight. Brought back a lot of memories as a childhood as well. What else? Being able to have my best friend Alex, being able to work out with her all the time. She's someone that pushed me every day. I can do credit to someone who helped me get back into this league and to be in the shape that I came back in. Definitely get credit to her. And then our friendship has grown since I've been in quarantine. So, and then just the family time, just being able to hang out with my mom and my brothers and my dad, my stepmom and my sister, just being able to hang out with them a lot. My baby sister Chloe did my makeup twice, and one was at the beginning of quarantine, one was at the end, and I've seen complete improvement since then. She's 6 years old.
I need a makeup artist at home, so if I can get her phone number.
All you have to give her is a few fruit snacks, and she'll do.
I got you.
She'll do great for you. Yeah. So just being able to interact with my family like that, I just never get time to be with them. And so this has just been a complete great experience for me with that.
Awesome. We'll love to hear that. And we'll end it on here. I have one final question for you because I am just getting to know you in this past year, but where did the nickname Bird come from? What does that mean to you and where did that come from?
I always like to have people guess first because I just love to hear the different responses. So do you have any guesses as to why they call me Bird?
You're tall. Is it anything to do with Big Bird?
I get that one sometimes. So actually, when people tell me, they're like, oh, okay. So actually, when I was back at Stanford my freshman year, there's two Ericas. One was a senior, one was a junior, and I was a freshman, so I needed the nickname. And so Shanae McKay, I don't know if you know, she's a WNBA player and an ESPN announcer. She's like, oh, we call you Bird. And I was like, why? She's like, McCall. Like, your last name sounds like a bird. So
didn't even think of that one.
But most people don't. Most people think like, so you fly like a bird or you jump really high. I get a lot of different ones. Some people, because I'm actually afraid of birds, which is crazy that my nickname is Bird. So I get a lot of guesses. I love to hear what people say. But yeah, just my last name sounds like McCall, like a bird call.
That's so funny. But it stuck.
And it stuck. Like everyone calls me Bird. It's like my basketball name. Like even when I'm out here, I'm like, people call me Erica